I'll start over because of the heater just shut off. Okay, so I got the chassis table brought over to this side of the shop, and it's all leveled up and everything, and I took some video of that, but it was pretty boring, so I'm probably not going to include any of it. Anyway, so the chassis table, it's moved over to where it's probably going to be its permanent home over here along this wall. I don't foresee myself moving it again unless I really have to put it under a 2-post again. The 4-post lift, of course, is mobile. It can move wherever I need to put it. It's going to act like an elevator to help me get the Sunbird and whatever future projects go on the chassis table up here and on. So the next step, of course, is to get the Sunbird brought in. And I was going to record that, but it's dark right now. There's a bit of a blizzard going on. Really glad I got my beanie. However, I went to move it, and I was gonna show you guys pulling it in and all that stuff. And the steering gearbox is locked up. I think because the lines are off and water got down inside. It's the only thing I can figure. So the gearbox is like locked up solid. I actually stripped out the steering wheel trying to turn it. I put a big pipe wrench on the steering shaft, and I got it to wiggle a little bit, but it's just not turning. So I think probably what I'll have to do, instead of pushing it in, I'm gonna have to pull it onto my trailer and disconnect the pitman arm and get the gearbox out of the equation and turn the wheel straight, and then be able to roll it in off the trailer onto the 4-post lift. That is probably going to be a project for tomorrow during the day. It's already pretty late. I'm by myself. It's dark out. It's really cold. Wind's blowing. It's snowing. All kinds of fun. So I think what I'll do is I'll pull the car on the trailer tonight, and then I'll park it and revisit tomorrow. That's the plan right now anyway. Might change, might not. Okay, so I don't know if that time lapse is going to look good or not. All I really did is pull in the car. I put her on the trailer. I said, well, if I disconnect the trailer, I got to pull the car all the way on and strap it down so I know it's not going to roll anywhere because my parking lot isn't flat. So I said, you know what? I'll just pull it part way on. I'll leave it ready to roll off the back. I'll move the trailer over and I'll see if I can get it in the shop. Worst case, I can always pull it back on the trailer and go with plan B. Well, in the process of pulling it on the trailer, I broke the cardinal rule of working with heavy stuff, and I'm wearing tennis shoes, sneakers, instead of work boots with steel toes. I dropped one of the ramps on my toe. I'm pretty sure it's fractured. It hurts to high heaven. But anyway, the car's in. Tomorrow it'll be all melted and defrosted and everything, and then I can maybe once it warms up, if there's frozen water in the gearbox, maybe it'll thaw out and let me turn the wheels. If not, I'll be disconnecting the pitman arm and figuring out how to keep it straight long enough to get it over here. Once it's over here, the whole gearbox, front suspension, it's all coming off anyway. So it really only has to get from there to here.
Hey there, Mr. Longshot coming back to you again. Today, we're going to talk about the Sunbird. Alright, so I couldn't resist doing the obligatory stand in the empty engine bay picture. But while I'm in here, let me tell you what we're going to do as far as power plant. Right now, I've got an aluminum block 6-liter LS with some 317 heads. Might end up bumping those down to some 243s, not sure yet. It's going to depend on the final the piston combo I go with and the static compression ratio. However, we're going to be bolting on a pair of Power Stroke 6.0 diesel variable geometry turbos. So I've teamed up with KC Turbos, and they're helping me sort out what's what on my pile of parts over on the workbench. We'll probably get into that in a later video. One of the things I've been talking with them about is how to control the VGT on the exhaust turbine. We'll discuss that more in detail in a later video focused on the turbos. But right now, as of today, I don't think anyone has run twin functioning VGT diesel turbos on a 6-liter LS. Haven't seen it. I looked on YouTube, I looked on Google. Guys talked about it. A couple people have run a single. So far, I haven't seen twins with fully functional VGT. So, if you guys know and you ever been around one of those trucks, the 10-bladed turbine in the early model turbos, they scream like crazy. just asinine whistle all the time. And that's what we're going for out of this. Every time this thing is running, it should sound like an F-15 taxi into the runway. That's the plan. Probably they're going to get mounted up front here behind the headlights. That's going to be where most of the room is, because we're cutting out the wheel wells, the front half of the wheel wells, and running a whole tubular front clip. I may end up going to a dirt track racing master cylinder that mounts under the dash, and that would free up this room here, and we might be able to get them tucked up back in this corner. If I can get them behind the front wheel, that's where I want them for sure, for weight distribution. Those turbos, they're not the most efficient design for this. They're not going to make the maximum amount of power potential, and they're heavier than a regular non-VGT turbo is going to be. They don't have an optimized flange. They're not easy to mount. They need to be mounted in an upright position in the center section, and you can't turn the front and rear housings, which I have a little bit of a trick about that. So it's not ideal. This is like a comedy setup, right? This is a joke. The whole thing's a joke. And that leads into the whole theme behind the project. This is a Sunbird, but its name is Scrappy, because everything that goes on this car is going to be borrowed, begged, scrounged, rejected parts out of a parts bin. That's the kind of theme that this car has going on. So we're going to get some more info on those turbos. I've already filmed a bunch of stuff, taking turbos apart, all that stuff. I'll be putting that together in another video, and you'll be interested to see what I do as far as getting the mounting positions. Probably the next video you see on this car is going to be dismantling the front end and taking all of our measurements, getting this all braced up. As you can see, it's listing right now. We're going to get this all braced up on the jig and get this front end cut apart. Everlast Welders sent me a plasma cutter to demo on this project, and to my knowledge, no one else has had hands-on with this product yet that I've seen a review. So we'll be putting it through its paces for sure. So stay tuned. Don't forget, please share, like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll be seeing you guys real soon. Till then, Mr. Longshot, signing off.